Hello and welcome back to Cookie and Hayden's. I'm Car Boot Chris and we've got a miniature, a midget.
I'm on the broken chair still. See, the move didn't improve it. It made it worse.
At least introduce yourself. That's what I was going to you for.
Parking bell. Hi.
Yeah, the broken chair. Okay.
Broken.
Thanks for joining us, people. We've got quite a few people in already, so that's great. I'm not sure how this was going to go tonight, with it being a Saturday night live, but we just thought we'd do a live because there's a lot of hot topic at the moment to talk about, some important stuff, and I've hopefully got a couple of guests on. I know I've certainly got one waiting in the wings. And yeah, we're going to talk reselling. We're going to talk about the coronavirus and how it could affect us or will affect us. Any worries that people have, any thoughts people have.
Any issues you've already had.
Yeah. So let's just have a look who we got in. We've got DMH Products.
On the plus bit.
There we go. Yeah. Now I can just click it. Linda and Gaz. Is that working now? Yeah. Damien's in. Hello, Damien. DB Resells. We've got Beth. Hi, Beth. Tori. Diggsy. Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Fat Girl Sewing. Ian. Chris. Hi, Chris. Paul. Oh, lots of people in. Lots of people ask. This is good. Aaron says, don't normally get a chance to join this one. That's good. Getting
can only just see
new people. I know. That's because I told you to lift yourself up a bit. So quite a few in. Feel free to drop in at any point. There's a new name. Queenie Conquest.
No, we've seen Queenie.
Yes,
before.
Of course we have. Yeah. Yeah.
We've got Rebecca Turner in. Hi,
There's
Rebecca.
lots in. Ian the Tap Doctor's in. Oh my gosh.
Jade Knight, John at JLM.
Oh,
Deep Fried Deals.
Stu Mandry. We'll just shout randomly names out here. C. Reeves.
Deep Fried Dieselers. Are you going to show us your stacks of food and water?
Water. Just turn the tap on. Rewind Resells. I can never quite say that. Extreme Booters. Hi guys. Finally managed to watch a live. Get in there. Yes, I've got a couple of yours to catch up on. I noticed in my stream today.
Tap Doctor says, "Aye up, it's the blooming Southerners." I don't think we're quite Southerners yet. I think we're still foreigners here.
Southwesterners, actually. Not your typical Southerner.
Good to see you. How's your new home? Where's my cookie?
Down
she
here.
Is on the floor.
She'll say hello in a bit.
She is like our shadow since this move. Literally, she's not left our side.
So yeah, we've done the move. We're a week on almost from that. Monday we moved in. It's been a bit mad. We've spent the entire week trying to reorganize the house, empty boxes, get the place livable. This is my office upstairs, and
aka the broom cupboard.
It is pretty much like a broom cupboard. It is very small. Talk about maximizing space.
He was just spoiled with the last one. That's all it was.
I did have a lot more space. But it is what it is, and it's just different than what it normally is. So we're gonna make it work. And what else have we got to say, really, other than thanks for joining us? And yeah, lots of people popping in. But don't worry if I do drop out. I'm actually utilizing my mobile phone Wi-Fi hotspot to do this live broadcast, and it could be a bit shaky. I have tested it today. It seemed okay, but that said, you know what mobile phone like, they can drop in and out. So hopefully, because I haven't got any broadband yet, I'm having to use that. So let's hope it's okay. Anyway,
looks like Georgina's not been very well, so I hope it's nothing too serious. Someone's wished her well. She says she'll only have to spend half a day in bed today.
Oh.
So get well soon.
Oh, well, this live will make the time pass a bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's drop our first guest in.
Maybe our only guest.
Maybe our only guest, but we'll see. Anyway, so we've got Damien. Hi, Damien.
Hello, how are you? You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you. So how's things where you are? Crazy?
You're getting there. I think we're still a week or two away from it really kicking off. Been to the supermarkets this evening and they're all empty. But yeah, no riots just as yet. But, who knows?
It's not seem quite as mad down here. I mean, I was saying before we came on the live, I was chatting to Damien and I said, like, maybe because we're in more of a rural spot with smaller villages, and there isn't any of these great big supermarkets, sort of super Tesco supermarkets.
Yeah, even looking like on Facebook and stuff, the local ones from where we used to live in Reddish, which were little, they're all being sort of cleared out. People just aren't as crazy down here, I don't think.
Maybe not, yeah. We've not had the same sort of toilet roll shortage and all that. It seems to be, doesn't seem to be as bad.
Yeah,
Oh, not
toilet rolls. They've cleaned out all the biscuits. The whole aisle of biscuits in Sainsbury's was completely empty, apart from fig rolls. But because there's no toilet rolls, you don't want any fig rolls.
Yes.
So there is still some sensibilities left, but not a whole lot.
I did notice when we went to Kingsbridge. Was it Kingsbridge? Yeah, we went to Kingsbridge, which is...
We haven't been to Kingsbridge yet.
We did. We went to Tesco.
Oh, we have been to
Kingsbridge.
Thank you.
We went to a Tesco in Kingsbridge, which is kind of like a small to medium Tesco size. And the only thing I really noticed there was that they were limiting us to the amount of things we could buy. So I think we could only buy 5 of any one item, like milk. We had milk and stuff, and that's about as exciting as it's been.
There's signs up saying a maximum of like 4 or 5 per customer, but the shelves are empty anyway, so it is rather redundant. But then again, it was sort of 7 o'clock in the evening, so on a Saturday, so everyone had been out. Might try and have a look first thing Monday morning when the shop's open at 6 o'clock. Might be worth popping in and seeing what they've managed to stock up over the night when they're actually, because they're all 24 hours down here apart from Sundays, so they close at 6 on a Sunday. They can stock up overnight, so they might have something in while everybody else is off to work, and it's part of the freedom of the job that we don't have to go to work 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning and do as we wish. No tomato ketchup.
Stu says the local Lidl has sold out of pasta, egg, loo roll, and tomato ketchup. I mean, it's just so random, isn't it? Why? Why?
There's plenty of tomato ketchup where we are, but no biscuits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aaron said where he is, it's toothpaste, tea, and cereal. Do you think this kind of shows like what people's shopping habits are in certain areas as to what's going? What do people prioritise?
Yeah.
I mean, toothpaste. Why would you? I know you need to brush your teeth, but
well, people don't want to go without brushing their teeth, do they? Just like they don't want to go without wiping their ass.
You can still brush your teeth with a toothbrush. You don't have to put toothpaste on it, do you? You're not going to die by doing that.
Well, you can do it like that if you want. I want toothpaste. It's like, do you think people are influenced by like the TV shows, like where it's the apocalypse and world-ending scenarios where they think, right, which things do I need to stock up on?
I'm sure they're all sitting there going, I told you so, we were right, I told you so.
Yeah.
I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't think
fake tan in Essex has been cleaned out.
Richard Payne's put no pasta, but shelves full of pasta sauces. Are people eating dry pasta?
Yeah, I went midweek to get some bits. I've been sort of just picking, going a couple of times and just picking up a couple of little bits as I've been going. And during the week there was no pasta, no dry pasta, but all the dolmio and everything else was all still full. Plenty of dried noodles, so I've stocked up on noodles is as good as pasta, so I just got a load of noodles. But when we went in today, all this pasta sauces had gone as well, so people realised that dried pasta tastes a bit crap.
It's crazy, isn't it?
The butter's all gone as well, margarine, flour, everything like that. That was all cleared out as well.
Oh, I like Queenie's. Queenie stocked up on red wine and crisps. Sounds like nice sort of thing.
Yeah. There's some crazy stories coming in here. People taking stuff straight off pallets, and Mr. Diggs says there's been a mugging in Tesco car park or something. I mean, come on, just ridiculous. Rebecca Turner says I have 5 packs of wet wipes, 3 loo rolls left, had for months, and lots of drugs that I need. Oh, yeah.
What was I just reading? Somebody's actually asked a question. Tea cakes. Does anyone know anything about K shoes? Where I can look up a serial number.
K shoes.
K
Where's
shoes.
that? Tea cakes.
Yeah, 9/11.
9/11. Oh, there it is. Does anyone know anything about?
No.
No, sorry, not sure.
Don't even know what K shoes are.
K Swish, I'm saying.
Well, I was thinking K Swish, but maybe that's just our age.
My forte.
Anyway, so the reason, obviously, for this live, I was thinking about it from the start of the week, really, when I was thinking about what kind of show we'd do next. I was thinking for Monday, but then I thought, let's do. A lot of people gave us feedback about doing a Saturday night live, so I thought let's do one on Saturday. I messaged Damien and Andy to see if they wanted to come on and chat about all this coronavirus stuff and the potential effect that it's going to have on reselling. Let's just forget for 1 minute about the health stuff, but let's talk about reselling and the businesses and stuff like that. So it's got I mean, when all this first kicked off, I just thought this is all a big overreaction. This is the media blowing it all up. And that may still be partly the case, in my opinion, but governments across the world are putting really serious measures in place which are affecting everyone's lives, livelihoods, movements, communication, all sorts. And there could be really far-reaching ramifications. People's businesses ending.
But whether it's a scaremongering or not, it's like you said,
it's beyond that now, isn't it? Because decisions are being made that are going to affect us all, whether we like it or not. There's many of us that could end up going out of business.
Yes,
it's, if mass gatherings stop, which they're already starting that now with sporting events and stuff. Will we be able to source from car boots? Will shops even stay open? Because they've taken that move in various parts of Europe, where they've closed shops and cafes and restaurants. And then, of course, you got to think about, will the postal service even run? And okay, we might be able to source, but can we post? Yeah. Or maybe we can't source and maybe we can't post. And if that happens, we're dead in the water.
Yeah, definitely.
So it is pretty worrying, really, which way it's going to go.
It does just depend on how long it goes on for. I mean, you have to think that, sort of like I've seen sort of like Ireland saying, oh, we're going to close the schools for 14, 16 weeks. That's like 3 to 4 months. But if you look at China, the outbreak started New Year's Eve pretty much. We're now middle of March, so 3.5 months later, they've got it under control. So 3 months. So we're probably about where they were mid to end of January. So we've perhaps got a couple of months of this. you know, for us to bring it under control. So that takes us up to what, end of April, middle of May. So boot fair season starts at the beginning of April for most places, so we might lose a month or so if we can bring it under control. But the way people are talking, it's like, you know, this is it for the end of the year. You know, sort of London Marathon's been put off till October. Schools, they want to shut them for the entirety of summer until about September or October. And that's the entirety. I don't necessarily think that we're going to get that far. I mean, China's got a population of what, 1.2 billion, and they've kept their cases under 100,000 who've reported. You know, Italy's got it terrible at the moment. Spain's likely following it quite quickly, but they've taken measures and they've shut everything down. So they're still about 3 or 4 weeks ahead of us. So we can follow them to see how they're doing. If they get to the 3rd, 5th of April, when they said these restrictions are going to start lifting them, if it's had an effect or not, then we should, you know, be able to plan accordingly and expect a similar sort of trajectory.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's a month or two, then I think the majority of us can manage. But you know, and that'll be fine. You know, I personally can manage for another couple of months. Got savings in the bank. I've got a little bit of stock. I mean, my biggest concern is not being able to get stock if they cut the boot fairs off as of next week. But even so, I can still manage. But beyond that, if we start looking at June, July, then, you know, it might be a point where I'll say, right, I've got to find myself a part-time job to ride this out.
Yeah.
And it will start drying up. So I'm good for a couple of months if that's how it goes. But beyond that,
I don't think we've really been taking any of it properly into consideration, had we? Because we were kind of we were in that category of sitting here going, oh my god, people are just over exaggerating.
I was having arguments with my mum like a fortnight ago saying this is ridiculous. You know, it's you know, storming a teacup. You know, everyone's going to get, you know, like we'll have a few hundred cases, blah blah blah, and then Italy just went off the scale. And it's like, okay.
I still think the virus itself, there's a lot of scaremongering around it, because I think for the majority of people, getting the virus is nothing major, but it's the passing it on to the people who it is serious to, where I get that's where the issues come in. Yeah,
my mum has she's worried quite a lot. I mean, she's got asthma and COPD, so, and she's 69 this year, so she's in the top of the you know health conditions and exactly what everybody's worried. So she's worried, and I would imagine quite a lot of people in her situation are worried as well, and rightly so.
I actually fit into that category, which I woke up to you this morning for the first time, didn't I? Going, maybe I should take this a little bit more seriously, because I take immunosuppressants for one of my conditions. So I take medication that suppresses my immune system. So if I catch things, I can really struggle to fight it off. But even I've not really taken that into consideration. You know, I've not kind of sat here and gone, oh my God, I shouldn't go out of the house in case I catch it, because...
Yeah, I think because the majority of us will be all right, and, you know, the collective mentality is it's just a really bad flu, which is wrong. But that's what the, you know, where the mindset of everybody is at the moment. So we're not taking it seriously enough. If, you know, if the mortality rate was a lot higher, it's like 5-10%, then I think there would be a lot more chaos. But I think because it's mild for the majority of us, that they say, okay, we'll keep calm, but people are stockpiling. But, you know, it's like, it doesn't seem real. You know, when we're looking at all these things, it's the same as when you see an earthquake or a tsunami the other side of the world. It's like all the fires in Australia. It's like, it's really bad for those people there and they're affected. But for the rest of the world, where is it? Okay, well, I'm quite happy in my home. It doesn't quite seem real. And I think that, you know, that adds to it, and it's like, well, you know, do I need to be taking precautions? Is this serious? Is it, you know, is the media blowing it up? You know, it's, you know, it's like, just keep calm and carry on for the time being.
You did wake up this morning, didn't you, debating whether you should take a chance in starting to go to car boots if they are still on, because like Chris was saying, it's all right saying, well, me stay at home and he'll go. But like he said, we know that people can be carriers of it. We know that people can carry the bug without, you know, and not have any symptoms and pass it along. So he's like, well, what if I pick it up somewhere and bring it home? And there's a lot, so many ifs and buts about it. And
that's my worry. You know, I'm not worried for myself at all because I've got a pretty good immune system. I tend to fight off most things pretty easily. But if I go and pick something up, bring it back, I know that you will struggle, and it could be quite serious for you. So we've kind of come to the decision that just going to stay away from the. I'm still gonna do some charity shops, and I know that still runs a risk as well. But as far as the mass gatherings at car boots, I think I'm probably going to stay away just for the next week or two and just see how things pan out.
Well, there's a boot fair tomorrow, and I am going to that. It's in Canterbury. It's an outdoor one in a car park. We'll be going to that, you know, because I expect this one will be the last one before they start banning mass gatherings. We don't know how many, sort of hundreds. It's like Scotland, it's like 100. Others are doing like 1,000, so I expect it to be the last one, and then just ride it out. But it's take precautions. I'm trying to keep an eye on the comments in the chat as well. Yeah, no, I'm a bit behind. I'm just going to try and catch up on some. Aaron says France are looking at closing a lot of shops and restaurants from tonight. I just think I understand why they're doing it, but it's going to. I really feel for people, especially the small independent shops, because it's going to kill their businesses, isn't it? How are they going to recover from this? I really feel for them. I get it as well, but a lot of small businesses they run very limited cash flow, so
just run from week to week. A lot of businesses.
You know, so any sort of disaster, you know, or anything disruption that stops them for a month, then it's like, well, hang on a minute, I can't make my mortgage payment next month. Help. The government says they might, you know, they're helping us like some of it out, but for, you know, if you've got a business and you've got business premises and you've got rate relief that they've offered, but anyone that's sort of self-employed like us, like plumbers, anyone without premises, all we can claim is employment support allowance, which is £75 a week for 1 to 2 weeks. So you're talking £150 tops. That's nothing. I mean, it's
not even worth the effort.
Yeah, it's not really worth the effort. I mean, well, for some people it will be because they don't earn an awful lot, and £150 will make a big difference to them. But you know, if we're sort of used to you know, having an income of £2,000 to £3,000 a month in eBay sales, then £150, that's what, you know, that might be a day's sales, and I'm not going to touch the sides if
and you probably have to jump through hoops for that.
Carlo Beesport here in Northern Ireland are now saying that when the kids go off for Easter break, they'll run the holidays until September, taking in the summer holidays as well.
Yeah, they'll just scrap it summer term.
I don't get with this shutting down the schools. I get all the kids being put together, but when all these kids are then at home, the parents aren't going to keep them in, are they?
No, they can't. I mean, that's our government. I watched the Boris Johnson statement. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. So you can take the kids out of school, but you try getting a 10-year-old to sit still for 3 months without seeing his mates or her mates. It's just like, no, because you've got kids, you've got next door neighbours, and they're all going to go out. And it will, as soon as we get the nice weather in, if all these kids are off, you're going to end up. You've seen what the parks are like in the summer. They're absolutely damned. People aren't going to end up staying in. They're going to end up going out anyway. So exactly. So
I don't understand how they think that's going to solve the problem.
But it has knock-on effects as well. That doesn't. It has big knock-on effects when taking the kids out of school, because you've seen it like when schools announced they're having an inset day. It goes
into meltdown.
And all the parents have to take a day off work to look after kids. What will happen to everyone who's meant to be at work? How do they how do they deal with that? I mean, not every employer is going to be able to let the parents just go off and work from home.
Plus, you'll have the likes of childminders getting sick as well, and so they might not be able to take them for the usual babysitters or anything like that. People can't do the jobs. People can't. If that, I mean, that's the difficulty for the government. They've got to be seen to be doing stuff, but at the same time, you can just close everything down and then destroy everybody's lives and the whole world grinds to a halt. So where I wouldn't want to be a prime minister. I wouldn't want to be doing, making decisions. It's
an impossible job, isn't it? You can't win whatever you do. You just can't win.
Absolutely.
Tory for local government. We had a trial work from home on Friday. Same again this Thursday. My mate works for Music Magpie, and they've been trialing working from home as well, just in case that they're not able to go into work.
Yeah, if I was still at my job that I left to do this, which was working at a hospital, I had the ability to work at home. I had the capacity to, have a laptop and do everything remotely. So I would probably be working from home now or in the next few weeks. And I think technology's come a long way in the last 5 to 10 years to let more of that. From when I started where I worked to when I left, that 10-year period, working from home, remote working, and having meetings, because it was a trust of 5 hospitals. So you travel to meetings, you go from Ashford to Canterbury to Margate for meetings, but now that can all be done remotely. So that technology's got, I think if this happened sort of 20 years ago, the technology wouldn't help us quite as as much, because we wouldn't be able to work from home as these days. So that is one good thing that's from now people can work at home more. Luke's dad works from home quite a lot of the time now, so he can look after the kids. His mum's a midwife, so she's right in the firing line at the hospital.
Yeah.
Richard Pickens says, would it be better to have a lockdown for 2 weeks than to let it drag on for months?
And then lockdown. Well, we said, wouldn't it be easier if they just created a swabbing kit or something where every household was able to self-test to see if you have the virus, and then they could kind of eliminate the people that have got it, so they can then start to self-isolate, rather than this hit and miss of waiting until symptoms come out.
Yeah, then you've got to mass produce and distribute over 60 million tests in a very short space of time, and they're struggling with the amount of tests that they've got to test it. The capacity was 1,500 a day. Now they've moved it up to about 10,000 a day as they're producing it. That's it's still only a tiny percentage of people that are going to get tested.
Yeah, true.
And I don't think locking down to say, right, okay, everything's closed from this Monday through to everything. And we'll see how that pans out with Italy, because that's what they're doing at the moment. We'll see whether it has any effect or not.
But I think once you lock down, is it then going to drag on? Is it going to say, "Oh, we've got to do another 2 weeks now. We've got to do another"?
The thing is, when you lift restrictions, you run the risk of it spiking again.
Yeah.
When people you contain it, and then then you let everybody out, and then it just starts circulating again.
Just watching the cat in the background.
Oh yeah, she.
Just kind of stopped by and started licking a paw, and then carried on.
I want to see what she's doing right now. I'm glad she's just got camera. Put that away.
She's got a leg.
You're internet famous.
Anna the loopy lass says, I suppose there's always the collection only option if the post gets stopped, but I don't really think that's a viable option. There's hardly anybody who's going to do it.
At the moment, I'm business as usual. Not that the sales are coming in. I've only done £12.50 today. I think it is. You see what the post office is doing. I mean, they've started distancing themselves. They're doing, as Pinbox says, they're doing no contact delivery from tomorrow. I expect Hermes and the others will follow suit shortly afterwards. I think we have to wait for the next couple of weeks to see how it goes. I mean, you know, unless we've got anybody from Italy that's what I'm saying. I mean, but people are getting GSP parcels still delivered to Italy this week. So, you know, I don't think everything.
Somebody a bit earlier on did put that deliveries were being stopped going to Italy. So I don't know, is that something recent that's happened then?
Maybe, is it just certain parts of Italy or all of
I
it?
don't know. They just put a thing out saying that deliveries were being stopped to Italy.
Marie says, I live in a state where 30... Oh, what's happened here? Hang on. Sorry. I hate it when it does that. Bloody Apple Mac. What's happened? Oh, here we go.
We're back.
I live in a state where 37 people have died in 22 days as of last night. Whereabouts is that, Marie?
States. I was going to America.
In America somewhere. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat. Would it be better to lock that? Yeah, we've mentioned that, Richie.
Deep fried deals is telling me I need to take it more seriously.
Yeah, probably. Kenneth says, luckily I have enough stock already listed and plenty of back stock to list. Hopefully Royal Mail keeps going. They did during the 1919 Spanish flu pandemic. Killed 100 million, blimey. I mean, you know, we go on quite a lot, don't we, about getting your death piles down and, you know, list your stock that you've got. And so at the moment, during this, death piles are your friend, really, aren't
they? Death piles are a bit of an insurance policy. It does allow you to, because otherwise you end up just having to delete a load of listings just so you can relist it again, just to make it look like there's activity on your store.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot. I mean, having moved, I've had to reorganize and box up my death pile stuff, so I know exactly how much death pile I've got, and I've got enough to last a couple of months probably, with sort of five to 10 listings a day probably. So I've got quite a lot of death pile. So
if I did 5 to 10 new listings a day, I would run out probably by Friday.
Really?
That's how little I've got that's unlisted.
You've done really well to keep on top of your stock, because I found I've been doing it for sort of as a business for 5 years, and it got out of hand fairly quickly.
Well, it hasn't got out of hand purely because I've been doing this for full time for 3 months now, and there's not been the car boots and there's not been the jumble sales as such until the last month or so. So I've always been struggling to start listing stock as fast as I can get it. I was hoping that the boot fell season I would be able to, just spend a good few £100,000 on stock and have a decent death pile stock up for next winter. But it's just haven't had the opportunity, just haven't had the abundance of stock, and it was just starting to get to that point where I had, a jumble sale followed by a boot fair a couple of weeks ago, and starting to get okay, I've got got a decent amount of stock. I bought a box off you as well, and been listing. And
thank you for the buying the box. It bought me my long-awaited coffee machine that I've wanted for a very long time.
I picked up a coffee machine today. I could tell you that as well.
Well, to be fair, we picked it up from B&M's the other day, and we've ordered like a load of coffee pods to go with it. So I now get Costa at home.
This one's a big old Russell Hobbs sort of espresso cappuccino.
This is like
it's an old one, but it was brand new. Got there for I'm doing what I can get from charity shops mostly. A little bit of online arbitrage. Retail arbitrage is very hit and miss. Everything that I bought, from Tesco's or wherever I've seen out, I've still got. It hasn't sold. I've sold like 2 items of it. So retail arbitrage is a bit slow on the ground for what I'm able to find. But so I'm going to the boot fair tomorrow to just get one last shot of stock to keep me going through for a couple of weeks.
Do you think, Damien, that because you're thinking that tomorrow might be your last boot sale for a couple of weeks, do you think you're going to be less picky about what you pick up? Are you going to just go for it, head hell for leather?
Yeah, I intend to fill the boot. Right, it's the same one I went to a couple of weeks ago where I got all those electronics. None of those electronics are actually listed yet because I'm still going through testing them. I've got couple of pieces need new belts in them, cassette belts, and that's not a problem. So I've got stock, but I haven't got stock that's ready to list. So I've got the DSs there that need fixing. I've still got that pinball machine that needs fixing. I just haven't had the time where I've been moving unit, and I haven't had time to sit down and go, right, okay, today I'm going to fix this. Or this week I'm going to fix that. But if things slow down, I will have the time to list things. So, but at that boot fair, all there was that I didn't find any board games, at all, not even crap ones. Because it was mostly traders, and it was like the old tools and it was all the electronics that I picked up. So expecting tomorrow to be the same as well. Last one, it was the first one of the year because of the weather. So we've had really crap 3 months of the weather, and now we've got this bloody virus. So it gets to the point where we write 2020 off. And as I said to you before it came online, if I've got about another month or so, probably to the end of May-ish, I'm going to have to make a decision to see where I could take a part-time job. And
then the question is, will there be any jobs available? Sorry? Will there be any jobs available at that point?
That's it. Whether there will be or not, but whether everybody's in the same, got self-employed and say, right, okay, well, I've got my little plumbing job. Well, that'll be all right because people need plumbing. But if they're making stuff for crafters and whatnot, and say, well, okay, well, I need to go and find a part-time job as well. There might not be anything about it, but I could get sort of temp work. I'll sign up with all the temp agencies and say, right, okay, if you got a day's work, I just do a day's work here, because a day's work at minimum wage is what, 60, 70 pounds. And that would all help. But I'd need to make that decision around about the end of April. Where and by which time we will know where this is going. I think we'll know how Italy's dealt with it. If they're still as bad as they are now, and we're heading that way, it's like, right, okay, well, we've got to write the summer off, go and get a job.
It's just a scary thought, that, isn't it? Having to do that. Yeah,
it is. I don't want to do that. I'm okay, fine for another month or two. But like I said, if it gets to sort of the May bank holiday, and it's just all kicked off, then it's like, okay, well, take a job, get some money, see us through for the summer or however long, just ride it out, and then just otherwise I'm just going to be eating every bit of profit that every sale that comes in will be feeding, and I won't have any money to buy stock. And
that's the recipe for disaster. If you start, it's a big mistake that I've noticed that part-time resellers make. People who are trying to build their eBay business in order to go full-time, I've seen a lot of people make the mistake that they are using their part-time money to fund their life and their lifestyle. And by doing that, you are making it impossible to build a business to go full-time. Because when you're part-time, if you want to be full-time, all you've got to do is reinvest. You don't want to take a penny of that out. So, if you get to that point, it's bad news. Mr. Diggs has put here, here's a thought. How long, or do you think as resellers we get return requests from buyers claiming an item gave them corona? Asking, I don't think that can possibly happen. I mean, how do you prove that?
Yeah, you've got to prove it. You can't. There's no
prove it. I wouldn't even worry about that, Adrian.
No,
I'm not concerned about that.
Right. Never even crossed my mind, because it's not something that you're able. I mean, I read somewhere that the virus doesn't survive for long on items, on physical items. It's a matter of hours. Is it like 2 days?
You're more likely to catch it directly off the delivery guy than the parcel that you're sending it to them. And that would be for if you were a customer and you got a package and you took delivery of it, and then you got the coronavirus, your first thought would be the person that gave it to you, not the
object.
So I just don't think people can make. I'm sure people will make that jump in logic, but I don't think there's any sort of claim there.
Tories mentioned about me being at risk because of my job. I won't be dealing with the public with my new job. I'm
Touching your face.
I'm going to be based in an office, and it's quite a small office, so hopefully
You're just going to have to.
I'll be all right.
Just be careful. And also, just while you're on the subject, Tori mentioned also, I've picked up on this comment. I've been doing eBay 6 months, haven't touched a penny, reinvested 5k and got a similar figure in the. That's brilliant, that, Tori. That's exactly what you want to do. As a part-timer, you really don't want to. You don't want to rely on that income, because otherwise you'll never make it to.
That's why I did. Anything that I got while I was still working, it all just went straight back into the business, and got savings. Not touched the savings yet. So we're fine for now, but it'd be interesting to see where we are after Easter.
Yeah. I mean, I've got savings and I've got plenty in the death pile, so it should be okay for a little while.
Yeah, we were lucky that our death pile had been being created for the last 5 years. So
but how are your sales in the last couple of weeks? I know you've moved and you've been in holiday mode.
No, I've just had a longer dispatch. I've not listed anything new since the weekend, so I've had a week. I basically had a week off whilst we moved. But what I've been doing every day, I've been selling similar on some old items just to keep some new freshness in. I don't think it has anywhere near the same effect as listing brand new items that have never been seen before. For some reason, it just doesn't have the same effect. But I've just been keeping it fresh that way. Sales, I think I posted about 6 or 7 this morning.
I've got 5 to go out on Monday so far. I put I've done a sale, a markdown sale. I put a 30% sale on starting yesterday morning. I've done £12.50 in sales today. I've got lots of watches. I've done 30% markdown, plus I've sent an extra 10% off those for the watches that I've had not a bite. I've had 2 sales from that, so people really aren't buying. They're watching. I'm getting lots and lots of watches. I woke up to like 15 new items watched this morning, all of what was in sale. And I've said, so they've effectively had an offer of 40% off what I was asking a couple of days ago, and they're still not.
Wow,
it's been really slow this weekend. I'm on target for the month still, so I'm all right. But I was hoping to sort of get a big boost, boost the cash, just get rid of all the stuff that I've had sitting around since Christmas, January, and just get a wad of cash in and clear out some stock this weekend, and expecting it to tail off towards the end of the month as this coronavirus ramps up. So far, nothing. It's been really dead. But I've got five items going out Monday for a total value of about £40.
I mean, potentially we don't know if people are going to be a bit more wary about spending money anyway at the moment, because like you said, if people's jobs and livelihoods and whatever else are going to be affected, if people are stopped buying food, you don't know if they're going to start sort of monitoring their outgoings as well, thinking, how long is this money going to last me if I end up being stuck in the house and I can't go to work and I'm not going to get a wage? So you just don't know what's going on.
What I have said, the majority of the items I've sold Monday to Friday this week have all been jigsaw puzzles,
right?
New and old ones. It's just jigsaw puzzle after jigsaw puzzle after jigsaw puzzle, and a Monopoly mixed in with that as well, and a Blu-ray player.
Somebody did put a comment on before about focusing on picking up board games and jigsaw puzzles.
Board games aren't but jigsaw. I'm nearly out of all my jigsaws. And I picked up a load, and I was expecting them to sit there until Christmas, basically. But it's like I'm shifting a lot of them. But and that's if I didn't have any jigsaws, probably wouldn't have sold anything all week.
Yeah, but people, like you said, being stuck in the house, and that might be what they're thinking.
Yeah, that's what people are thinking. They are thinking about self-isolation.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I've so far not thought about buying myself a jigsaw puzzle.
No. a House on the Prairie that I picked up the other day. That'd be a good binge watch. If they're isolated for 2 weeks, it's like 204 episodes. It'll keep them going.
I'll keep you going for a couple of days.
I did have an offer yesterday on a Monopoly game, which I tried to negotiate and dropped out in the end. But yeah, I don't really sell any jigsaws. So
somebody put a comment on here as well, saying, I think it was the TAC doctor, when we were saying about shutting the schools down and, how much benefit is there in that because kids are still going to go out. And he actually put on there, it could come down to a blame thing, because if the kids aren't in school, the schools can't be blamed for that's where they've caught it from. So that could be another way that people are looking at stuff in terms of they don't want to be associated with being the reason why people have caught it.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Mr. Diggs says, I am part-time reselling, but I have 2 part-time jobs. But that money goes to pay the bills and run the house. I make my own money through reselling. Yeah, sounds good. That you've got a plan there. Who's that that's dropped in? Kez18. Hello.
Okay.
I mean, you've had an interesting possible part-time income suggestion, haven't you?
Yes, I might be getting headhunted to be a fireman.
Oh.
Literally on the corner of the cul-de-sac we've moved on is it's like a tiny little fire station outpost, and it's actually like the first property on the cul-de-sac.
Have you moved to Trumpton?
Sorry?
Have you moved to Trumpton?
But I was speaking to the guy next door who works for them. He was basically saying, like, he obviously took one look at Chris and thought, oh my God, he would be perfect as a fireman. And he was like, oh, would your husband be interested in joining us? Because we're really short of people and we really need people to join.
It's not a fully fledged fire station. It's an on-call, like a reserve fire station. So they deal with small, I think the way I understand it, I had a quick look on Facebook. They deal with smaller local incidents.
Like you cut up your tree.
Yeah. But also they back up bigger incidents. So if like a crew is dealing with something big, but they need relief to go home and rest, they'll go and back them up. So I don't know. It's something that I'm going to look at and consider.
It's like a minimum of 30 hours, isn't it?
You get paid for being on call, basically. And, you might get called out, you might not.
But the way the world's going at the moment, we may need that.
Yeah, exactly. It could be something that's needed. Tori says, Brad from 2 Aussie Thrifters says that he stops and starts promoted listings at least twice a week, slightly altering the rate. I've started doing that too. Exactly what I do, Tori. I do that. I have at least 2 different promoted listings a week. And you know what I've found the best, and it's probably an obvious thing because of the high percentage, but I did the week before we moved, I just clicked on the recommended promoted rate, and I did it on everything in my store, and it's the most sales I've had through doing a promotion, a promoted rate thing for a long time. So I'm probably going to do that again this week and see how it goes.
I ran a promoted campaign this week of trending rate plus 1%.
Yeah.
For 48 hours. During that time, I sold 4 items. Not one of them was through promoted listings.
It's just weird, isn't it?
It's bizarre. So alongside this markdown, I've got a 1% promoted listings going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I find that when looking at the graph with sort of how many clicks and how many impressions and all that, regardless of whatever your percentage is, your impressions stays the same. But I find that the higher the percentage you do, the ever so slightly, not a whole lot, the clicks per impression goes up ever so slightly, but not a whole lot that it's making a difference. It's probably an extra 10 clicks over like 10,000 views or something like that. So
I do find that promoted listings definitely gives me a boost in sales whenever I do it.
I do.
Because when your promoted listing, when your promoted ad rate finishes, like if I forget, to set a new one, like the sales drop off. I literally get no sales at all. You know, for a day while it resets itself.
Yeah.
It's a strange beast. You know, I wish you could understand how it works.
I do find overall that I looked at all my promoted sales set from sort of like the 3 months that I've been doing this full time. Roughly about 23% of my sales have been via promoted listings, so it definitely works. You know, so like 24 sales is a promoted listing sale. I don't know how many of those I would get if I wasn't promoting, or whether because Tommy Bernhard's in the minds that what you're promoting, when you're promoting, it lifts the rest of your store. You know, it makes you more visible as well. You know, which would explain why, you know, I've got sales, but you know, not via the promoted listings, because it's also giving you an uplift in general, because you're using the tools that eBay have got. So it's not just the promoted listings that are giving you, you know, getting the sales. It's the effect that has on if, you know, the rest of the non-promoted or you know, impressions that you get as well. So, you know, I think you always have to be feeding it and trying things and filling around, and just, you know, keep listing and just keep active on eBay. You've got to treat it like a baby that needs feeding every.
I think I've found over the last couple of months, when I've been doing markdown sales, I've been finding that they're becoming less and less effective.
I'm noticing that.
And I think you're better off spending the money on promoted now.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to say do a 20% off markdown sale, you're better off putting that money on promoted. I think you're more likely to sell the stuff.
But yeah, but I think there will be a point of diminishing returns on that. I mean, if you run a one, you know, the general recommendation that, you know, I say and Shazad says, and it's just like go for 1%, and the general sort of what we say is like do a 1% promotion. But if you did a sort of trending rate promotion, sort of like average 5-6%, you're going to see an uplift. But if you start doing 20%, at what point on that graph are you just giving money away? Because
probably. I think
10% is the difference between 10% and 20% negligible. Is it as good uplift as, say, between 1 and 5%? So yeah, I don't think sort of going much beyond the trending rate is better beneficial, because the trending rate is because the rate is that you pay is to get you at that top spot of the promoted more often than your competitors. So if the trending rate is 5% and you're doing 6%, then more often than not you're going to be at the top. So if you're going to be at the top at 6% and you're going to be at
20,
you know, that 4% is redundant. You're just giving it to eBay. So it's it's finding where that sweet spot is, and I don't think it's much above the trending rate. I think 1 or 2% more than that. If you start doing so, right, okay, instead of a 25% sale, I'm going to do 25% promoted listings. I think a good 10-15% of that you're just giving eBay free money.
Because if you think about it, if you think about a lot of our stuff, like yours, mine, and other resellers like us, we're selling one-off items, and a lot of the time we might not have any competition. Yeah. So if you put a promotion on that, it don't really matter what percent, or it shouldn't really matter too much what percent, to put you to the top of the page. It shouldn't cost you too much to get to the top, because there's probably not much competition anyway. Because
it all goes on best match. So if you're the only item, you know, if people are searching for black widget, and you're the only black widget on there, and they search for black widget, then you're going to come up top. If they're looking for a grey widget, you know, are you going to, you know, it depends how generic it is, but
it's such a complicated algorithm anyway. Just because you say set 5% on your widget, right? Just because you put 5% on that, it doesn't mean that every time somebody types in black widget in the search box,
just can't go.
It doesn't mean that every time that it's going to automatically push the promoted item on them.
No.
Sometimes it will just organically appear.
It's not going to get an organic black widget.
But it's so complicated. It's just. Like you said, you just have to feed it. I think if you're not feeding that, If you're not,
with the phone down.
you're
going to get angry.
you're going to lose out.
But yeah, I think maybe closer to the trending rate is the
Yeah.
way to go now.
I think so.
Apparently they've managed to stop the duplicated listing, promoted and non-promoted in the same search. I think Tommy was saying that they've stopped that in the last week or so, at least in America. I haven't checked to see whether it's that's been removed. So it is now going to be a case of who's willing to pay the most. But I think if you set it as trending rate, and then eBay will, adjust it accordingly on that. I've still got research to do on that to find out what works for me. I've done one trending plus 1%. Didn't seem to make much of a difference to me. But all the time that you're stopping and starting promotions and just doing little ones over a couple of days, then you're introducing so many other variables into it. So, well, you did that sale on a Monday, Tuesday last week, and then the next one you did on a Saturday, Sunday, and you're now saying the Saturday, Sunday one did better than the Monday, Tuesday one. But, well, yeah, of course, because your sales are going to come mostly from a weekend, because that's when people are shopping. So, I need to do a long time and say, okay, well, what's it like at the beginning of a month? What's it like at the end of the month? And, and then eBay will just change the algorithm all over again, and we'll start from scratch. So, everybody knows.
Got a few people chipping in for your fireman thing. Hugh Mandry said they probably just noticed that you owned a bucket and a ladder. Haggis Lover wants to know if you'll see some 60-second tips when you become a fireman. I like tea cakes here. He's put Pew, Barney, McCrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, and Chris.
That's my time.
Two Aussie thrifters. Hi guys. Have you watched? Because I noticed that they had Rally Roots on their recent live, I think it was, but I've not managed to watch that yet. So that'd be interesting to watch that.
I do like Rally Roots.
Yeah,
but I don't watch a lot of him or them. They're one of the ones that I dip in and out of if they have they're on my sub list, and it'll just be a case of something catches my eye on the stream.
Brum Reseller said, I put a vinyl record on 100% promoted for a laugh to see what happens. Hasn't sold. I'm expecting billboards and leaflet drops from eBay promoting my record.
It's funny. It's funny you say that, because I did a little test. I was going to make a video on it if it was successful. But nothing happened, so it was pointless me making a video. I had some do you remember the video I put out recently, the fails? I don't know if you watched it, but on there it was the albums, the ephemera albums, right? I put them on 100% promoted, just to see what would happen on one of them, to see if they could sell it for me, basically. And they couldn't sell it at 100%, so I pretty much got no chance anyway. So it's just,
you end up owing them money, because I'll still take their 10%. Value.
I just tried it on one just to see, what, if I give them all the money from this sale, can they promote it enough to sell it? And they couldn't sell it, so.
Yeah, so that still goes back. That just reinforces what I was saying about the point of diminishing returns. If you go too much above the trending rate, if the trending rate puts you at the top for searches, then so is 10%, so is 20%, so is 100%. You can't go any higher up. They're not. It's not like
there's a ceiling to it, isn't there?
Sort of do a pop-up ad for yours, across the whole of eBay, saying you must buy this one item. Because we'll get all the money for it. There's a point where it makes no difference, and you're just giving eBay the money. But what that is to guarantee you the top spot every time. Don't know how much of a rate it is.
Rewind Resell says, I increased my prices by 10% and put promoted listings to 10% on every item. Worked a treat.
That's interesting.
There's another thing to try. No, I'm all for. I think the day that we stop trying different things on eBay and trying to work out is the time to stop and go and get a job, because you've just got to keep at it and trying different things. And what may work this month won't work next month.
I'm just going to say the same thing.
It's you know, at the end of the day, all we're doing is we're showing stuff and it's being presented to the buyer. We can't make them buy it. And, you know, like I said, I've done 30% markdown plus 10% of offers in this weekend and they're still not buying. You can shove it in their face as much as you like. If they don't want to open their wallets because they're trying to find toilet roll, then you can't make them spend. And I think things are down a little bit across the board at the moment because people have got other priorities.
Yeah.
And we need to manage that and factor that in as much as buying stock and, you know, going to boot fairs and whatnot, keeping ourselves healthy at the same time. So, yeah, we're always walking a tightrope with this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm just looking through, like, I've been kind of keeping an eye on some of the comments, and it's been kind of 50-50 with people either saying that the sales have been really poor over the last few days, but then, you know, there's there's a handful of people that are also saying that they don't feel their sales have been affected. So,
like I say, I'm running to target at the moment where I am. We're halfway through the month, and I'm halfway through my target for the month. So, you know, because I've had a couple of good sales last week, so it's still the usual ups and downs, but I think things do feel slower. But when I look at the numbers, they're where I would, you know, where I'm expecting, you know, would like to be for the month anyway. February I ended up about £100 below target where I was, because it did just drop off at the end of February for a week. It just stopped, and then things picked up again sort of last weekend for a couple of days, and then it stopped again, and I don't know why, but you know, next week I might have a record day, record week.
I think I've always maintained that you've got to look at it, look at sales over a longer period of time. You can't like a couple of days. People get really upset when they have even a no sale day, or a couple of sales, or just £10 or whatever. People get really upset. But then have a look at your entire month. You know, if that's not where it should be, then start to think about what you can do. But you know, I always try and bang on about that.
Yeah, I've given up despairing about no sales days. I mean, there's no difference between a £100 sale on the Monday and a no sale day on the Tuesday, then having £50 on the Monday and £50 on the Tuesday. There's no difference at all. So you've got to stretch it out, and you know, like you seem that you had a bad week the last week, but the week before was amazing, and so okay, well over those 2 weeks you're still above average, even though you sold nothing last week. But you know, it is a long-term thing, and you drive yourself crazy doing it on the day-to-day. Because I've had a crap weekend. So it's like, well, if your last 10 weekends were crap, then you need to be doing something about it. But if last weekend was a blinder, this weekend was dead, then you need to look at a bigger picture. And I think there's, you know, it is very easy to look at the day-by-day numbers or the hour-by-hour numbers. It's like, well, I've not had it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I've not had a single sale all day. Yesterday I had one by 11 o'clock in the morning with my coffee, or it's easy to get to, and especially if the businesses and they run on, you know, they run their PayPal accounts to the bone. I mean, I've seen in groups where people say, I can't withdraw this last £6 out of my PayPal account. It's like, why have you only got £6 in your PayPal account? And why do you need that last to pay your postage for the parcel? But you know, or it's like you need that resilience, and you need to look at the bigger picture, and that goes from your day-to-day sales. I mean, I know some people can't afford to get that. They've got themselves in that position and they can't get out of it, or they like to run at that, you know, quite tightly. But yeah, you look at your monthlies, you look at your quarterlies, and you look at your yearlies, and you look for trends, and you spot trends when you look at the bigger picture than you do looking at your day-to-day sales. So I've given up caring. I don't look at my day. You know, obviously I look, but it's like, I had no sale day today. Okay, yesterday was no. Thursday was a no sale day. I've had five in the last. You know, if I look at my graph for the last 30 days, I've got 5, which is the most I've ever had. But in those, there's a couple of spikes. You know, so I've had a couple of record days, and it's like, well,
you have a graph.
I have got a graph.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
All right. Then I'll let you off.
But multiply everything divided by 30, and you've got a straight line. So
exactly
where that straight line is that above or below where you need it to be?
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's what you got to do. Tommy and BCP are in, so thanks guys for joining us. I just want to say, for the last sort of 15-20 minutes, if anyone else wants to drop into our chat, they're more than welcome. Just and I won't share a link unless somebody actually wants to. So if you say in the chat, fellow reselling YouTuber, if you want to come on and join us for the last 20 minutes and just discuss what we've been talking about, feel free, just put in the chat, yeah, I'll join you or something, and I'll drop a link in. We've got a few in there. We've got Tommy, we've got Vinegar Jar, we've got who else? Peter's in.
Nice little bolo today, well done.
So there's quite a few people. You know, if anyone wants to come on, just let me know. I'll drop a link in. Hang on, what's Queenie saying? So if we have the next 7 days to stockpile for reselling, what are you looking to purchase given what lies ahead?
If I've only got the next day or so, if like I've got the car boat tomorrow, what am I looking for? I'm just looking for anything that
will make you some money.
Yeah, within my niches, my area of knowledge. There's no point in me going out and spending £500 and just clearing out all the pound rails of clothes, because I don't know enough about clothes, and I could end up like my money's better elsewhere. But it's just that you can only buy what's in front of you. But I don't think there's anything specific. Like I said, jigsaws are going well at the moment, and I expect if everyone's self-isolating, then look at those hobby kind of things that people might want. Toilet rolls as well, I suppose. Hand gel. Can't buy hand gel. You can't get it, but I think it's just a case of keep doing what you're doing. We
went out yesterday and we went in a couple today, and all I can say is at the side of us we have a random pile of some inline skates, a figurine of the Queen, a bear from Thorpe Park, I think it is, or something like that. A cycling shirt, a Shetland pony fleece sleeveless jacket.
So I just, to answer Queenie's question, like
anything,
what you did, I would just carry on buying my normal stuff that I would normally buy.
Oh, show them your.
Oh yeah, pick that up.
Look what we got today. How cool is this?
It's a little table lamp, but in the shape of a movie thing.
Hollywood studio.
Yeah, it's very cool. That it's right up my street. That really.
I went charity shopping today. I picked up two things. One was the coffee maker, which is out there. It's a Russell Hobbs coffee maker from about 10 years or so. It's like also, and I got this, and it was battered as hell, but it's new in box. It's a monogram Corvette. Something. It was £3. Even in the damaged box, you should get about 20 for it. But that was all there was uptown. That's all I could find. It's by Revel, and I've sold things like that before. Somebody will buy it. I didn't really want to buy it, but it's a case of so sometimes I just go uptown and I buy things out of spite.
Was that a charity shop, Damien? Or
yeah. Hi, Peter.
How you doing? You all right?
Right. You don't even notice you pop in there.
It's so quiet.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just been jumbling today, and I actually went to a different jumble than Peter Ray. So we normally end up at the same one, but we were at separate ones today. He was down in Tolworth, and I was up at Wimbledon.
Yeah,
so it's pretty cool.
Was it busy?
Yeah, it was like the actual jumble wasn't that busy, to be honest, because sometimes I've been in these little scout huts and you're like that, and it's nuts. And this was pretty civilized, just walking around.
Nobody wanted to touch anybody.
Well, that's it. They're giving it all the sort of 20 meters or whatever it is, or 2 meters. But
to be fair, I have walked out of a scout hut one that we went to once. I literally spent about 30 seconds in there, and I went, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing this." I went and stood outside. Well, I left him in there. I was I can't do this.
Well, I was talking to another reseller, and then he started coughing, and I was going, "Yeah, right, okay, see you later." Don't come near me.
I'm too short for those sort of places. I'm like elbows in the face to me, whereas Chris is a little bit taller, so he can kind of wade over people. I just get lost.
Claws into my leg.
So you've been talking about sales and that. Yeah, I'm slightly worried about because I was worried anyway with all of the rain that we've been having. I was thinking, you know, is the car boot season going to happen, you know, in the next sort of month or two?
Yeah.
And now with this on top of it as well,
Yeah.
I just think
when it starts improving.
well, that's it. I was already thinking I've got to push some other ways of sourcing, like Facebook, because I hardly do any Facebook Marketplace and eBay Snipes, anything like that. But I think we're going to have to do it now because my kind of stockpile isn't huge. I mean, it could probably get me through about another 2 or 3 months. But it is worrying, really. If it all shuts down for like 6 months, it'd be like, oh my god.
I think 6 months is quite a stretch. I don't think.
Yeah, maybe.
Just looking at how China's done and how they've managed to bring it under control. And they said today they've had more cases today that they've been brought in from Italy or elsewhere.
That's right. Yeah.
Than their own cases. So they've taken 3 months to have their peak and under control. And I'll tell you what I'm more concerned is this winter coming. That is going to be bigger than what we're going to have a bump now for a couple of months, and it's going to cause all this disruption. Then we're going to get to about November. We still won't have a vaccine by then.
There'll probably be some other sort of form of it or something like COVID-20 or something.
If you go back and look at the Spanish flu, it was the second winter when that did the most damage. Not
that's a cheery thought.
I'm just saying we might get through the next couple of months and go okay, and then we'll have the summer and then everything starts returning back to normal. But I think we're going to end up with the same level of disruption again next winter as what we're seeing now. Whether it's to the same extent or not, we could be going through all this again because the vaccine won't, if they manage to find one, won't be out until next summer. For next winter, so it's worth bearing in mind. I mean, it might sound a bit alarmist and it might not materialise, but it's worth thinking that if we get to summer and everything returns to normal and boot fair season and we're at and everything like that, is think about where we could be back in the situation again next winter.
Yeah, might have to get a proper job there.
But it's worth having in the back of your mind. I think.
I feel like I've got an episode of Game of Thrones going on here.
Wow.
Winter's coming.
That is it. God.
Jason says this is when my death piles will come in handy. We had a couple of charity shops tell us today there's a good chance they'll close due to the virus.
Well, most charity are old people in the category that it's killing. Yeah, and so they're all old people with health conditions. So they might, they'll close the charity shops down.
Well, that's it. I mean, a lot of the volunteers with the charities are older people, and also, I mean, do you think that? I know we discussed before about it's less likely that the virus can be carried on items and goods, but when charity shops are getting donated a lot of stuff, do you think
I'm not too worried about that?
Do you think they're getting worried about that?
No, I don't think it's the same thing. It's person-to-person contact.
Yeah.
It'll be the door handles and the pin number pads and things like that more than the stock. I mean, you can get so if somebody comes in, coughs on their hands, and then picks up a vase and then puts it back down, and then somebody else picks it up. Then yeah, sure. But it's going to be the person-to-person coughing over each other and all that because. Especially where I live, people are dirty. There was a murder today a mile away from where I live. 19-year-old lad got stabbed. Half 12 in the afternoon.
But to be fair, just before we moved away, the McCall's shops.
Yeah, that's what we've got. That's where my post office is.
Well, there's one literally on the main road, which is about a 5-minute walk from where we used to live. And then there's one about a mile and a half down the road, and both of them got robbed one day after the next. And the one near us literally had the whole front window taken out, like the whole front of the shop was boarded up, including the door. We had like a wooden door that we were going in and out of, and it's like, please ask me again why I'm moving to Devon.
Yeah,
just give it a few weeks, and everywhere's going to be like that. They'll be like rampaging.
Yeah, where my parents live, the other side of town is a co-op, and when I lived up there, when we were away with my parents who used to work there, last August, September, I think it was, they've got a cash machine in the window. Some Eastern European gang came over and they literally used dynamite to blow it out. They got caught. Were trying to leave the country, and they got sentenced back in November or somewhere. But they literally used dynamite to blow the, I think, and it just blew the front of the shop off.
But is it really that easy to dynamite?
I'll tell you, if eBay, doesn't liven up a bit, I might go and source some dynamite.
Yeah,
I need to make some money somehow.
Blew the cash machine apart.
Jeez.
But that, it wasn't the first. That hit cash. The cash machine's not there anymore. They put a facade in now. But that cash machine probably been hit about 3 or 4 times over the years. Usually it's with a JCB or something, just trying to get it out. But yeah, they went the dynamite route this time and just blew it out.
To be fair, that McCall's near us. How many times had that been done? That McCall's near us. Every other week we were going in, and there was a different worker behind because the person there had been traumatized because somebody had ran in with a machete or a baseball bat or something. And I won't mind, it's on a main road. Yeah. It's on a main road, so it's not like it's down a side street.
They don't care.
But they just it's like a rat run behind it. So there's that many options they've got to take off once they've done it. They just didn't think twice. And they never put any security on.
Yeah, once it's been hit, others know they can do it as well. So anyway, your sales been affected, at all? Sorry, I sort of missed the first bit of the stream because
it's been quiet for me this week just because I've not been listing new stock. I've almost had a week off, so it's been naturally quiet. But Damien was saying that he's had a quiet couple of days, but not had some average days.
Quiet but I've had a couple of good days, but generally it's quiet, and it's been those little spikes that I've had sort of perhaps once a week that has lifted it up. I'll sell a couple of big value items, and that helps carry on for the week. But like I say, I've done £12.50 today on two items, and I've got a 30% sale running. Plus, I sent out a further 10% to watchers on those items. And
I think it's difficult when you first start, trying to figure out numbers, because I always look at compare myself to this time last year, and this time last year, kind of around about February, March, January as well. Actually, it really crashed from where it was in November, December, because I was doing quite well at that time, and so at the moment, because I've been doing my sort of consistently getting stuff on, drafting and really feeding it regularly, I'm up 100% on this time last year, which is amazing, really. Even though it's up 100% on something that wasn't that good. So, but you'll only really tell when you contract 12 months, a rolling 12 months. If you can see that growth there,
I'm on target. I mean, I set myself a target each month, and I am just about on target. I think I'm about £10 ahead at the moment where I want to be. But I was hoping this weekend's running the sale would push the numbers up a little bit, so I can get a little bit ahead of the curve.
So how many things you sort of selling every day? You sort of I know is it sometimes one or
two or three. I mean, yes, usually. Anywhere, I mean, on a Monday, I try not to look on a day-to-day thing, but usually on a Monday, I've got anywhere between sort of 8 and 20 going out.
Yeah.
At the moment, I've got 5, and that includes yesterday's as well, because I didn't dispatch yesterday.
That's the real difference between someone who started it new and someone who's been going for 4 or 5 years. I've been going for 3 years, and I'm just beginning to get that feeling of I've got literally stuff behind me that I can draw on, because in your first few years you can go and source something on a day and you might get 15 bits or 20 bits, but it actually will only last you a good 4 days if you sell them all.
Chris,
to get that build up, that sort of mountain behind you, it takes time, but it does. You do get to a point where it happens.
Yeah, if I followed your mantra of this 5 a day at the moment, today I would run out of stock to list by next weekend.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is where I fall down. I should go out and source 10 a day, but I find that difficult because obviously charity shops are expensive.
I can't
no car boots, so You know, I'm looking for a channel that gives good advice on like sourcing, but sourcing is the
personal.
beginning of all of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
well,
is
sourcing could be as hit and miss as the sales are. You know, and, you know, like I said, we've had crap weather, and now we've got this virus, so it's harder. I was hoping to be able to stock up over the summer so that I'm not in this position next year. But yeah, it's you know, are we going to have the virus again next year? Are we going to have worse winter weather-wise next year? Because you know that.
Well, you just don't know, do you? You know,
No, exactly. So it's like plan as far forward as possible and just try and put yourself.
Try and build contacts as well, like where you can.
Just whatever kind of, just put yourself in the strongest position you possibly can be. Whatever, and that just look at what, you know. How do I need to have more cash in reserve? Do I need to have more stock in reserve? Do I need to, do I need to rearrange whatever? Just so, well, where do you want to be in 6 months? What's likely to happen in the next 6 months? Okay, how do I bridge that gap? How do I get there and be as strong as possible?
Your priorities always change though, because like to start with, you know, a lot of people say when you first start, a good thing to do is sell things in your house, and that's really to get the hang of eBay. And I think anyone who sort of goes into reselling would know how eBay works. And I would say to anyone who starts, kind of like before you start, go out and source like 300 things and see how long that took you. I mean, I think that because I am terrible at sourcing. I rely kind of 90% on boot fairs, and at the moment I'm jumble sales. But sometimes you'll go to a jumble sale and won't get anything.
The thing is, you can like the three of us, right? If we all went into one charity shop, we'd all come out with different stuff because we've all got our eyes looking for different things.
It's true,
so,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we won't all see the same thing. I guarantee it.
No, and there's times that I will, like I'll take the camera out and I'll look at, and I'll be editing the footage back, and it'll be, I didn't see that. That wasn't there. That wasn't there when I was there, and all of a sudden it's appeared on the camera. That was not there when I was actually in the shop. And obviously it was because I've just filmed it, but it's like, so you go back and it's gone.
Yeah. That's why it's better when the two of us go out.
Yeah, we often go out together and split up.
Yeah, that's good.
I
take Luke out sometimes. I mean, he hates the sourcing. He doesn't. He's got no interest in it at all. But when he does go, he'll like, oh, I got this, and it's like, good. Yeah, like because I wouldn't have picked that up, and it's different. I was trying to get him to come out more, but he works full time.
That's good. Jones says, "Have you settled in well, Chris and Belle and Cookie? Exciting times."
We're getting there.
Yeah, it's a lot of sorting out, and we're tired.
To be fair, I think the plan when we got here was we'll get here, and I don't care how long it takes to unbox everything, as long as it's done at some point. And we've pretty much unboxed almost everything. Because we kind of got here and we're just like, no, I can't live with this amount of boxes. This is ridiculous.
It's been, we both had the same mindset as we didn't mind living in a bit of a mess for a while. But when we've got here, it's like, you know what, I can't move on to the next thing until I've sorted this out. Because,
it was a bit of a jigsaw puzzle because we had a major issue on moving day, which was a bit of a nightmare because I set off on Monday morning at 2:00 in the morning. I drove down with my sister to get here to pick the keys up so I could be in the house ready for when Chris got here. Moving van showed up at 6:30. Thought, be down there for late afternoon. We can crack on. That's not how it happened. Many things went wrong in between, and our moving van showed up at 11:00 at night. So they left our house at 3:00 in the morning Tuesday morning.
Oh my God!
They got a flat tire, and then they broke down and had to call the AA out.
So it was just horrendous. So you can imagine them unloading. We didn't have that luxury of put these boxes here, and that needs to be in that room. It was just dump it. So by the time
I remember when we moved in here, we had. We got twins and they were young at the time, so I had to get in. The first thing I had to do was make up 2 cots, and then God, what happened? I think we did loads of stuff, and I ended up falling asleep with the eldest, who would have been about sort of 5 or 6 then. And then we just sort of collapsed and woke up in the morning, and I couldn't find Liz anywhere. I didn't know where she was. And because she didn't want to wake up like the eldest who was sleeping with me, she'd gone in his room and she was just on this kind of like nest of duvets, because the beds weren't made or anything. It's just like this.
Right.
I mean, it was crazy. But I've still got all the boxes from it. I use those for Amazon shipments. So at least you got loads of boxes for that.
Yeah.
We were kind of the same, because obviously I'd been up since 2 o'clock. I was knackered.
Yeah,
so
it's knackering.
got to like 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and we were like, well, what the hell do we do? Well, luckily Chris had brought a load of stuff in the car.
Yeah.
So he'd brought, the heated blanket that you put under your sheet on your bed. Yeah. He'd brought that with him, the quilt and the pillows. So we literally plugged the blanket in, put it on the floor in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Put the dog bed on top of it.
It's nuts. We had 2 cats at the time. They go.
Yeah, kind of lay on the dog bed with the quilt over us, just so we could lie down.
It's just anything. Yeah, it's just that feeling when you lie down, because you're on the go all day, aren't you? I remember that when we moved out of our old house, I think the removal men had packed away all the cleaning material that Liz was still using to do the sort of last minute cleaning, and then we pulled out this TV cabinet, and there was this big black sort of damp patch behind it. I was like, oh my God, got to get rid of that somehow. So it was like bits of toilet roll and stuff, just running around. And we were still kind of cleaning it as we saw them coming up the road, and we're like, we've got to get out. But never again. No,
it's not fun. I can honestly say, for a brief moment while we were lay on that floor, and possibly at 3 o'clock in the morning, when the removal men were supposed to put our bed back together, because it was a little bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
So they took it down, and they were supposed to put it back together, and they were literally like, and bearing in mind, these removal men were driving back the same night as well. So I felt really bad, because I'm like, what?
This is at 3 in the morning, is it?
This is at 3 in the morning. They'd been with us since 6:30 the morning before. So I was like, you need to tell them to go. Just tell them to leave it. So we literally just crashed on the mattress on the floor with the bed half up. And for a split second, we both lay there going, what have we done?
He's crazy.
Never again.
Oh, I'm never moving again. I'll extend this place before I move again. It's like,
Yeah, I can honestly say we've moved on a few days from there, and things are settling down.
We're okay.
We made ourselves, because we didn't leave the house Monday. We didn't leave the house Tuesday. So Wednesday, we were like, we need to get out. We need to go and take a trip somewhere and realize why we've made this move. So we kind of went to the beach, and it was a bit like, right, this is why we've done it. Take a breath.
Dave says, how are you finding the yokel accent?
They can't understand me. I keep having to repeat myself.
It's not, I don't think it's that strong in Devon, the accent. I think as you get into Cornwall, that's when you start getting the OR and all that kind of stuff.
It's the other way around. They keep not understanding me. I'm just way too common.
Yeah.
Clearly. But no, we've had a couple of good days out, haven't we, since?
Yeah.
And the house is almost done.
Have you been?
Sorry.
I was just saying, have you been at sort of charity shops, or checked? And how do they compare to back where you were?
I did a dummy run to where I'm going to be working in Newton Abbot, which is about a 35-minute drive from here. So we did a dummy run like 8 o'clock yesterday morning, so I could see what the traffic was.
Yeah.
So we decided to go to the charity shops while we were there, and there's about 12, isn't there?
There's quite a lot in Newton
Abbot. About 12 charity shops all the way through this pedestrianised centre.
We didn't get an awful lot, and they've got a pile here that I'm going to work on Monday, but the prices are probably a little bit more expensive than up north.
Are they all chain charity shops, or have you got a couple of independent ones down there as well?
It's a mixture. There's your usual suspects that you see everywhere, and then there's a couple of local, like your local hospices and stuff like that. But I think the prices are a little bit higher, but it's nothing unmanageable, I don't think.
To be fair,
you'll get to know them, won't you?
Yeah.
I wasn't doing a lot of reselling looking, because I needed some work clothes, so I was kind of shopping for myself. And we had the dog. Out of 12 charity shops, only 2 didn't let the dog in. which I thought was amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Carl says, my other half bought 70 bad taste bears. That was an interesting sell, a real surprise for me, but we made some good money.
We've had bad taste bears.
I've not seen it. I haven't seen any for years, but
I've heard of them. I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
they're very raunchy, like
rude ones.
little figurines.
Oh yeah.
the cat's about to die.
Oh no, not live on.
I think she's coughing up a furball.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like she's having an asthma attack out there.
Apparently, Uara is Bristol, but I don't know. It's all sounds quite similar down here in it's the southwest.
I'm just going to check she's not actually dying.
Dave says, "Yeah, I understand Chris better than Belle." Yeah,
That's because Chris has a bit of a posher accent.
I'm from a posh area of Greater Manchester called Bramhall.
I'm from Staley, Vegas,
And
so
she's
it's a little
from like I dragged her up from the gutter. She's from the I don't know how to
I'm from
describe
Staley,
it.
Vegas, and my mum was brought up in Oldham, so I've got a little bit of a different sort of twang going on.
She's all right. You know when you drink water and it goes down the wrong hole and you just end up coughing. That's what she's like. A water fountain. It's just like just can't get too fast.
Bumhole. Was it Brumhole?
Bramhall.
Bramhole.
Bramhole.
Bumhole.
Yeah, probably out of the three of us, the dog's suffering the most. I think she's like...
She's out of sorts at the
Yeah,
minute. She's following us around constantly, like, what's going on.
But we did drag her through Dartmoor today. We was out for about 3 hours walking through the woods. I exposed Chris to woodland walking today. He was not impressed.
Yeah, it's like a bog.
All he kept going is, it smells like the bog of eternal stench.
Yeah, you don't want to wear your best trainers when you do that, do you? Jesus.
Joan says it should be much warmer in Devon. Well, it don't feel like it.
People keep telling us that it doesn't rain.
Yeah, don't you get like microclimates down there and stuff like that?
Well, I said the exact same thing when we were out the other day, because 1 minute it was sunny, really, really, it's like 12, 13, 14 degrees.
And then it was hailstone.
And then it was hailed, and then black clouds come over. It's like, bloody hell.
We went on holiday to the Isle of Wight this year. It's the first time we've been, and we went. I forget where it was, but there's a sort of an area on the south of the island, and we're walking along, and I saw this lizard on a wall. It was like being in Spain. Like, it's a lizard. What's going on? And they get them there. They get them all the time because there's this little microclimate there. It's a place with really steep sort of cliffs, and you walk down, so it's all sheltered. But it's just amazing. It's like, what is going on?
But no, I'm hoping, I keep saying about we've moved for the better weather down here, and literally it's done nothing but rain at some point every single day.
Yeah, but it's raining more in Manchester. That's what you got to think.
Probably,
it's colder and there's more of it.
Yeah, I expect so.
I don't think it helps because our cul-de-sac's kind of uphill slightly, and then there's nothing behind us, so we're exposed. So
yeah.
You kind of feel like there's a lot of wind and stuff.
Yeah, we're at the top of the road, and it's very, very windy. And if there's ever sort of, well, can't remember the last time there was snow or anything, but you get it here, and you go down into sort of the village, and they don't get it down there.
There's nothing.
So the higher up, you really notice it. So
yeah, well, that'll be fun when we ever get snow around these parts.
Yeah, if that ever happens, but there you go.
These most of the tracks around here are like 1-lane tracks.
Yeah.
So.
Rewind. Resellers is asking about item not received cases. I sent off probably a day before all the Italy restrictions a pair of trainers to Italy, and when I was doing it, I was thinking, "Oh, should I be doing this?" And he's messaged me saying they just went international standard, and he's saying, "Oh, do you have tracking details?" And I just messaged him back saying, "Oh, there could be some weeks delay on this due to the crisis with Corona." To sort of buy myself about 3 weeks, hopefully. Yeah, I don't know whether he'll buy it, but
I'm hoping because I assume everyone got that email from eBay saying trying to reassure sellers, but there was nothing concrete in it to say this is what we're going to do to make sure that things don't suffer. Do you think they're likely to sort of scrap the late delivery rates or something?
I think they'll do similar to what to start with. I think they'll do what they'll do. They'll go into Christmas mode and sort of, if there's delays, then they will go into it. And then I think we're all heading into unknown territory. I don't know. Government don't know what they're doing. I don't think anybody's going to know anymore what they're doing than any of us. So they're just playing it by ear on a day to day, and they've just sent the email saying, okay, we're monitoring the situation.
I think what I might do is I was going to change my postage policy, so like for my GSP option, Italy isn't there, because I just it's always a pretty bad bet anyway. But now I think it's almost guaranteed that they're not going to get it.
With GSP, so you're responsible unless it's an INAD, then your responsibility ends once it.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, that's true. But sorry for certain stuff. Literally. Actually, for smaller stuff, I would like less than small parcel or less. I email it direct. So I've got a postage policy for direct international for 2 kilogram or less, or sort of small size. Anything larger than that will go GSP. And so this is like a pair of trainers, probably weighed about 1 kilogram, small parcel, raw mail. That's I think I'm going to take them off my my postage policy, because just imagine if you woke up and you had 4 sales and you thought, oh great, and then you look at them all, they're all Italy, and you've got to send them there. A bit like, oh Christ,
it's certainly risky, isn't it? I mean, if anything, GSP, you might as well just let eBay manage that.
GSP will be
right.
So
if they don't want to send it to Italy anymore, they'll take it off their GSP list, won't they?
At the moment, I don't send anything out of the country other than through GSP. So it's something on my to-do list to look at international policies a little bit further down the line. Because
what I might do is just change my small parcel or less policy to, if it's international, send it GSP, and then it will be covered. So I might do that. Actually, that might be a good idea.
I don't know about you guys, but business policies, I've had nothing but trouble with business policies on eBay. I've set them up in the past, and
I've had that. When I go in to do a new listing, the postage policy and the return policy are blank every time I do a new listing. I don't know why that is.
But when you have, what I found is when you have some business policies set up, you can't then bulk edit certain things. So you're not able to bulk edit, say, dispatch times. It won't let you bulk edit that if you have certain things set up. So I've just stopped using business policies altogether. Because I had a big, long conversation with an eBay rep a few months back about why I wasn't able to bulk edit something. And they said it was because of business policy. So I ended up just removing them all. And it does cause problems later down the line, because what happens, say, like at the moment, say your average under £20 kilogram item that I send with my Hermes, I charge people £3.60 for that. But what happens when my Hermes put their prices up?
Yeah.
All my items, say 1,000 items that I've got listed with £3.60 postage on, but I need to put that up.
You can't just change the postage policy and change the
rate. No, I haven't got if I had a postage policy up, I could change it, but I don't use them because of the issues that I've had in the past. So that becomes a major problem when postage prices change, because you can't bulk edit.
Royal Mail's prices are going up in next week, isn't it?
I don't know.
20 something or other. So that's an extra 10p on a parcel. So I'll have to change it, because I list mostly through my phone and iPad, and I'm trying to get away from that. And especially when I get to the unit, I will stop using the phone more. I will create the draft in the fact, because I take the pictures on the phone and I will load them into a draft, and then I will finish it all on the computer. But I found that times where all my listings that I've done on the phone, if I go in to make some changes, it will chuck all my postage back to a standard letter of £1.32, and it's caught me out a couple of times where I've sold something and I go, great, yes, lovely, send this nice big box, and my £3.95 postage is all of a sudden £1.32. It's that.
Yeah.
Well, just look at it.
When it updated.
If they'd have offered me £2.60 less, would I still have sold it? That's the way you look at it. Like I'm doing promotions at the moment. Like I'm doing a week of like quite big promotions just to see if it works. And when you initially set them up, you kind of think, oh God, that's quite a lot of money, but you're just glad to get the sale, to be honest.
Linda and Gaz says, are we still doing our Monday show?
I don't know.
We're doing it on Monday. We're doing our normal show on Monday night, but then after that, we're going to make a decision on which night we're going to do.
You've got 86 people watching now, so there's the audience for it on a Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have said go with the Saturday night, which is why I thought we'd try tonight just as a one-off to see how it goes. And we did have over 100 at one point, so that's great. But the problem with Saturday night is, if we've got visitors for the weekend or something, it could cause us problems, and we might have to change the night and stuff.
Okay.
I said bring them on the stream too.
Yeah.
The week.
We're going to do Monday night, and then after that, we're going to decide which night we're going to do.
I mean, it might just have to be a case that if we do have visitors, and that particular Saturday we do on a Monday, or we just switch the day or something. But
yeah, we're not the BBC. We're not casting stone. they move all the time to put football on, and then everything messed about for the week anyway. So if they can do it.
Yeah, Tommy's just reaffirming what I was saying before, is when you've got business policies set up, you can't bulk change your dispatch. It just doesn't let you do it, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
I know there have been problems with it. Yeah,
that's my first thing I want to. If we start getting the reports of delays with the post office, that's the first thing I want to do is extend my dispatch time.
What are you on at the moment?
Majority of it is 2 days. Video games is what a few video games I've got is next day because it's fast and free. So, but anything that's small parcel is two business days. But I generally dispatch daily anyway. So
right. So I do 3 days because it means that I only have to go twice a week, like every week, and there's also flexibility within that. Like I normally go Tuesday and Friday. But sometimes, if I could go like a day earlier and go Thursday, but it's still only twice a week.
I do
and
dispatch next day, but I've got 2 days on. Mainly because the best charity shop I've got is next door to the post office which is like a mile down the road.
I did same day at one point, but I'd because I thought it would help with like selling the metric and all this, but it's like, right, it doesn't make any difference.
No, because it takes into account your dispatch rate and the average dispatch time. So if you've got a 2-day dispatch and then 3-day window on second class, then that's 5 days. So if you sell something on a Friday, they expect it by the following Thursday. So
I've tried all sorts of things like dispatch time and free postage, and I'd never go back to doing like a same day or a 1-day dispatch. I'd never do free postage. Wouldn't go near it.
Yeah, I do it on the video games because that's what's expected. As far as free. But anything that's like the one-off items or anything like that, unless it's I tend to. Sometimes I'll do. It depends what mood I'm in. If I've got something that's like 150 quid, it feels a bit weird charging an extra £5 for postage. And it's just like
I wouldn't.
it's like it depends what I'm saying, what postal service I'm using as well. If I want to send it sort of DPD or something like that,
I had a £200 sale the other day, and I was like, I got £200 sale, and I had £6.50 postage on it. I was like, oh great, it's £206.48 sale, fantastic. So it all counts.
I don't do a lot of media, but the items, the media and video games I do have, I do free postage on, but I could, I only have about 20 items of media, so everything else I put postage on top.
Yeah, I think I do the lot. Even if it's like a game, I'll do it because I think if someone sees it £9.99 or they see mine at £6.99 and £3.49 postage, there are some people who won't even go, there's postage on that. They'll just see the £6.99. They look at the big green price, definitely. But
with your £150 item, if they're going to pay £150 for something, I don't think they're going to be bothered if there's another £5 on top anyway for shipping.
Yeah, the mixture. I mean, I sold a game. One of the two items that I've sold today is a game. It was originally $2.99 with free postage. It was a PS3 game, and that it got caught up in the 30% sale. So it's sold, and it sat there for, I think it's probably one of my oldest items. It's been there since November because it came as a bundle with a PS3. I've only finally just got around to listing. It's sold for £2.06 with free postage on it. It's going to cost me £1.50 to post. PayPal have already taken their fee, so I've got £1.87, I think it was.
Well, at least you got the room
postage, and eBay are going to take their fee of sort of 20p off it. So I'm about, cost I'm about 30p down on this item. So my £12.50 I've done today.
What Tommy says is good. That was another consideration. If I'm selling it something for $9.99, it's all going to get whacked for everything they can. But if I can take the £3.49 out of it, then they can't get their grubby little mitts on it. So, he's definitely right. And promotions and sales and fees. Well, they do take their fees, not fees. I found a Mewtwo today, which was nice. That's one off the
saw that
the Bolo. I never found a Mewtwo before.
What do those ones go for? Because that's not the big one.
It's not the mega one. No, it's about £80. I've had some messages saying I should put it up for about 100. So I'll do a bit of research. But it's just nice, sort of, because I didn't go straight. I normally go straight to the electronics, and I got a couple of Chelsea tops first, and then I sort of came round. So I was pretty late to the electronics and opened up this Olympus case. I was like, yes, results. So that was nice. But I've done a haul, so you can. If the rest of the stuff was rubbish.
Yeah, I've watched it already.
Yeah. All those games, and I'm looking up. This might be a good one. Oh no, it isn't. But
So what have you two guys got coming up on your channels? If you want to give yourselves a plug.
Go on, Damien, you go first.
I'll go first.
If you're going to do a video on how to get to 1,000 subs, I'll watch that.
I've not done a video for a couple of weeks. I haven't really had an awful lot that I wanted to speak about. I've been moving into the unit, and that sort of deflated me a little bit because I went to the boot fair, got all those lovely electronics which I did on my last video. I was filming that, and then I got to the unit, which was, the previous guys still had their padlock on it, and it was like, okay, phone them and get them to come down on a Sunday morning to come and unlock it. Waited in the car for 20 minutes, half hour. He turned up, opened it. It's like, there's no light and electricity in this unit. It's like, so I've now got to wait until the end of this month before I can get one. So I'm sort of like half in, half out.
Yeah.
And all this was supposed to have gone by now, and I was supposed to be set up like George Ross in his little, in the unit with everything, and like doing it all, shut the door behind me, and do everything.
You're a George Ross wannabe.
And now that's all gone to pot for a month. So it's like sitting there. So I'm in a bit of a limbo. So I haven't really done anything, but so I think towards the end of the month, videos will start appearing on me moving into that and getting that all set up. But it's like there's not a whole lot. Plus, I want to start doing a couple of fix-it videos as well, which I was planning to do. But again, that was when I was in the new unit and had the space here that I could set up a sort of workspace to get the soldering iron out and fix these things and all that, and do videos on that.
I should have done a fix-it video because I fixed that PS3, that fat PS3 with the 4 USB ports. But I fixed that, and then I broke a mini display, so I could do a fix-it video and a breaking video at the same time.
I want to see whether the fix-it videos actually get an audience, get the views, and whether there's actually an interest in it, because then I can sort of make my channel a little bit more unique compared to everybody else buying and selling, and start going down there. So I wanted to start doing a few of those to see how well they go.
It's worth testing and see how it goes.
Yeah. So I want to do a couple of those. I mean, the first one I do would be the pinball machine video, but I want to have the space to do it. So
is that one of those is little ones? What are they called?
Pinball machine. Hang on.
I've had those. They're what are they called?
Where is it? There it is.
I think I've sold about 4 or 5 of them. You're going to hear a crash in a minute. Yeah, atomic pinball. Yeah. I've had 5 of those, and they're really
it powers on, but the motor doesn't turn. So I think it's
just replace the motor. Really easy.
And the light on it doesn't. So I've got some LED lights delivered.
Yeah, I think I've repaired it. Almost everyone I've bought needed a new motor, and it's the same with those like singing Billy the Bass, singing fish.
Yeah,
they're really easy, but quite awkward to repair because you have to
they're quite simple parts. They're quite simple things.
Yeah, but you have to sort of skin them in the right way. There's a certain way of doing it, but they've got 3 motors inside, and normally
I've got to skin that as well and fix that. That's another video there. Fixing that. Because the part that I'm going to need to fix that is you need the motor from inside a CD drive. It's like the open and closing mechanism.
Yeah.
I've got a VCR DVD combi unit which is absolutely shot to pieces out there. I'm going to take the motor out of that, so that'll be a good start to the video. So I'm going to use this video player to fix it.
You're going to turbo boost it. You're going to turbo boost.
So I'm going to cannibalize that because both the DVD drive on that is knackered and the video side of it is beyond it. I'm not even going to bother selling it for spares and repairs. I'm just going to take the bits I need out of it for that because it cost me £2. Cool. And then the rest of it will skip.
Just sounds like hard work. Just buy something that works. Stop buying the broken stuff.
That's the trick, isn't it?
I'm upset the phobia. The channel mascot, I've got to fix him.
Peter, what about yourself?
I'll just do my usual. On a Monday, I do my regular List 5 Live, which is all about just starting the week and getting a handful of things listed, try and get people up and running, because I normally do that every day. Today I did a whole video if anyone's interested in that at what I got at Wimbledon Jumble Sale, which was quite interesting. And I normally do about 2 or 3 videos a week, and it's just, I don't know, it could be any old nonsense. So it's just depends what I'm doing, really.
Your Monday morning 5 live stream is built into my routine now.
I
get up on a Monday morning and I check everything on Facebook and all that, and sort of gear up my day and everything. And it's like, right, Peter's on, because to start with, I would end up being uptown. It's like,
well, yeah, it does get that handful of things done, but I'm so rude on it because, like, if I sort of say, oh, you can come if you want, but you might distract me, and I really don't like people coming in because I never get the work done.
And then the other week,
Shelster Rooney was in it like last week, and I got absolutely nothing done. And then she kind of went, and then I got 4 things listed in about 10 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then the other week you went and did it in the evening. I'm like,
oh yeah,
it threw my Monday out. It was like, and then
blame the kids. Blame the kids. That's what it is.
What do I do?
Rely
on you to get my week going.
We'll see what else we've got in the chat before we finish up. Mr. Diggs says he's a bit confused. He sold a vintage jacket for £27 to Ireland. However, an extra $15.99 that I had as international postage was paid too. How does this work? Well, if it's Southern Ireland, then it goes as international, doesn't it?
Yeah, that makes sense, I think.
Yeah. So if you've got $15.99 down for international, then it'll go as an international parcel.
Okay.
What else? Brum Reseller says, if we're plugging channels, can we give you a follow? Yeah, no worries. If you've not been Brum Reseller.
Talking about plugging channels, I am at 490, so you know, if I get to 500, I might have a party this week on YouTube. Maybe Monday morning it will be List 5 Live with the party hat on.
It's not me. It's not me.
The dog's at it again. Cookie.
And he doesn't need me.
Get out. Oh my God.
On that note, I can smell it from here.
Hang on a minute. Let's see what else is going on.
And make your eyes water.
See, bog of eternal stench. It's followed us home.
I know. So I've filmed a bit of a moving video, moving the business from my old room to this house. So that I'll probably edit that this week. That's probably my next one that will come out. We will go live Monday night, hopefully, in our usual slot, and then we're going to make a decision which night we're going to stick to. Oh, I can't even breathe.
You want to go and open the windows?
Disgusting. What else were we gonna say?
This is a downside to having a small room for doing this in.
Hope your webcam doesn't melt. Jesus.
So anyway, thanks to you two guys for coming on. Appreciate it. And when I edit the description, I'll put your links in the description.
Oh, thanks very much.
Anyone watching it back on replay, they can go and follow your links to your channels.
Hopefully, we can get you to your 500.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Have a look now. What he's on.
How do I do that?
I'll do it. I've got it.
Oh, there's 75 people in here. I'm sure there's 10.
491.
491. Come on. Right. There's 75 people watching.
The trouble is, I know that a lot of the names are already subscribers, so
Yeah, probably.
I hope by Monday. If I'm there by Monday, I'll be happy.
Go on, sub.
How do I do it?
Belle's going to sub you. There's an extra one.
Do I just
So,
put the vinegar jar in?
sorry. Surely close the windows. Yeah, I get you. Okay, right. So we will call it a day. And thanks for joining us as usual. And thanks to everyone in the side chat as well for contributing today, because it's been an interesting chat. It's going to be interesting how this all pans out. And I hope everyone gets through it okay and their businesses survive and it's not all doom and gloom.
We'll be all right.
It'll be all right. We can do it. We can make it. And we'll call it a day there. So
Subscribed.
there you go. You've got an extra one there. Have you subbed Damien as well?
I think I'm already subbed to Damien.
Oh, right.
I think when you plugged in previously.
Right.
I've been.
All right. So we'll see you later and see you next time.
Thank you. Good night.
Monday night.